basically, I can't really. I don't think it's okay for me to talk about exactly how it works now, but it doesn't work anymore. That's
simple as that. Simple as that.
So it's just good to know.
Basically what they said in the forums is universally true. There are no such thing as safe counterbreakers anymore. That's it. That's all you need to say.
It says that blatantly, no matter what the character or the situation, no safe counterbreakers.
Which is godlike. Now, I want to bring up one thing that's kind of odd. I don't know if anybody's gotten this situation before, but if you do a heavy linker in a combo early and you counterbreak, have you ever gotten a situation where you try to counterbreak and your character's mid-screen?
Yeah.
Yes, it's specifically if you're on the side of the corner. Like if you're facing the corner and you just got put in the corner or something like that. I've seen it happen a lot with Wolf, specifically.
Yeah, I can do it with heavy linker with triple axe, and it's like I appear mid-screen and they try to like DP or grab, like whiff, and I punish.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. It's very accidental, of course. I haven't.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to nail it because I guess that's fixed or something. But it's kind of weird. Like, whoa, I didn't mean to do that, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing that I wanted to talk about, AJ, what AJ just mentioned in chat, but I figured that's something we'll cover when we talk about the actual overall system changes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that
next. Talk
about that next.
I'm excited to speak about that.
Yeah, Coco Taicho, this is a podcast, yes.
Okay, so... Okay, let's talk about the system changes. Now, I'm still confused by this myself, by the way. I'm still confused by this.
Talk to us, Graham.
Non-combo hits. Pokes.
Yes. Oh, I can explain this.
Let him talk. Go ahead.
I mean, if you want, then... If you want
no, go ahead. Read the thing, but I can explain how it works, I think.
Non-combo hits, pokes, and the first hits of combos now deal additional damage. I mean, that's a given, right?
Right.
That's a given. So, okay. Shadow meter gain rates has decreased 20% overall, so it is going to be moderately harder to gain meter. Alright?
Okay.
Shadow Enders now scale damage based on current Ender level, so if you do Shadow Ender at level 1, nothing happens. Level 2, Number 3, pretty damn good. Number 4,
level 5.
Damage possible.
Level 5.
Highest damage possible.
That's awesome, by the way.
We got potential. White damage decay slower than before, and they showed this. This shit doesn't move. It barely moves.
That's why I mentioned resets are going to be crazy.
Like, and as you know, I heard Gutter say, you know, it will greatly benefit the people that are reset heavy. And even though you might get out of a reset, you still have to worry for a while. Yep. You know what I mean? I personally like the way that it was before because a reset is basically what it is. A reset right after you drop a combo. If you miss that reset, you know what I mean? Then basically you kind of lose that momentum. In this one, you miss the reset. You still have quite a bit of time to make up for it, to still continue, like, to try to work that reset in. Which I was thinking about. I'm like, okay, that's actually pretty cool, you know. But at the same time, it's like if you miss a reset,
whose fault is it?
Yeah, it's the person trying to do the reset. It's their fault. But the thing is, it's like it's granting them extra time and extra opportunities to work off of that reset. So you can mess up once or twice and still poke them, and then bam, the reset is still effective, which I kind of don't like because it doesn't really encourage, you know, like it doesn't encourage so much of the strict, you know, opportunity of if you miss this reset, then you don't deserve that extra reward. If you miss this reset, you still have a couple more tries to still add on to that damage, even if they get away. If you juggle them in the sky, the white damage is still slow, and they get up, and then you can still try to finish it. You know what I mean?
So I think what used to happen was, I think what's happening now is a kind of like a rubber band effect with the animation. And what used to happen was kind of like a weird inverted version of that, where the damage at the beginning would go away really, really fast. Like right after you drop the combo, you would lose a lot really quickly, and the longer that it went down, the slower it went. Now it's slow to start going down, then it gets quicker, and then it gets slow again. As far as I've been able to tell, and the reason I think they made this change is because of the fact that you can now cash out juggle damage. I personally think that's exactly the reason, because now Sadira can drop a combo, and pick it up, after a smart cross up or something like that, throw a quick ender in there, and she's got a level 4 ender, stored and ready to go. The same thing goes with like Glacius players that could really take advantage of that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So, but I do agree that that's going to be really good when it shouldn't necessarily be. Okay. So yeah.
Gutter, you got anything to say about that?
No, because I mean I know about. I mean, no, not really. I'm not a reset kind of guy, and when I see, I mostly think it's by accident.
Okay.
So mine will probably just be like, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's in my eyes. I don't feel like it personally goes towards people that love resets. I feel like it goes towards people that likes to do a reset, but mostly favors the ones that miss out on it. Like, okay, you missed out on the reset, you can still try it again. And that feels like more of a disadvantage for the person that's being rushed down on. It's favoring more of the rush down. And the thing is, it's like, it might be a little bit biased because I've always played Street Fighter, and if you miss a reset, then they get away and then you lose that opportunity. You chose to, risk a reset, basically. Mm-hmm. Maybe because not a lot of people have been doing it in Killer Instinct. Maybe that's why they're trying to encourage more people to do it. But like getting one reset would immediately and continue to a level 4. That was basically a little bit more damage than a regular level 4 damage ender with a shadow. But not a lot of people used it. And maybe they're just they want to just encourage more people to use it, which I can understand.
I think a lot of these changes have to do with making some of the systems more blatant. If that makes any sense, like more obvious to everybody what's actually happening. Yeah. So I think that has a lot to do with it too. But I agree, it's going to be really good, especially for Jago, because there's still the Flexi reset that hasn't been affected, and that's you used to lose a good like 5-10% chunk out of your potential damage for the animation to hit and for the combo to start up again. Now it's pretty much going to be like you didn't drop the combo at all.
yeah, pretty much, and that's something I kind of not too much for, but
oh come on, Freaky.
I think what it comes down to is, first of all, no matter how negative any of the changes are on the overall system, they did mention that early release is being treated as an early release, which means that they're looking for hardcore feedback during that time frame. From the month from September 23rd to October 15th, they want as much feedback as possible, and that I think that leaves open, some of these things to be adjusted as the community plays with them. So, but anyways.
Okay, well, I think we covered that pretty well. I mean, with the whole reset white damage thing, I mean, it will benefit people that are reset heavy, and it would still benefit them even if they miss the opportunity to reset, I believe. Let's move on to the next one. Air breakers and counter breakers. I personally feel this doesn't really have that much of an impact, period. That's just how I feel. I feel like I personally feel like it will never be worth trying to break in the air. It will never be worth trying to do an air counter breaker unless they work a level 4 on you into a juggle and to somehow, you know what I mean, into something else.
Why do you feel that way?
Yeah, I want to know.
Well, because okay, maybe this is just the mentality of season 1, but it's never worth breaking something in the air that you could just take 2 to 3% and just to fall on the ground.
So it's not. The thing is that now it's worth a lot more damage.
That's the thing, yeah. So it's gonna require it, or it's gonna require it has two-way interactions, so you're gonna have to do something about it if you don't want to take that extra almost 10-15. I'm thinking right now.
No, I don't know. I mean,
in other words, Grinch, think about it like this: if you do the back throw and you do Shadow Laser Sword, we can now break that Shadow Laser Sword.
And it's more damage, I think, right?
Well,
that would
I mean,
be more damage.
I'm not really thinking about that because I know for a fact that that's probably the least ideal thing to do. Like, in my opinion, I probably wouldn't ever try that.
Why? Because it's worth 45% damage.
Yeah, because it's worth a risk for the 1-2-3s. That's the thing.
I think this whole new system is making. Yeah, I think this whole new system is making it feel like it's more risk, but it's just another mind game to it. But of course, I mean, look who I play, and I'm talking about mind games. I mean, but I'm just trying to say, I mean, I think that this whole juggling system, will benefit once we get our hands on the game and once we start trying them out, it's gonna become crazy.
Let me talk more about why I think I don't like it. The reason is, yeah, I mean, if you throw somebody, you know, Jago, this is Jago specifically, you throw him Shadow Laser Sword, they can 1, 2, 3. Okay. Back in season 1, you know, they were never able to break it, right? And and through that, I think you can gain up to 20% if you do a DP afterwards. Maybe 22, 23 if you put a juggle or a DP in season 1.
Currently in season 1.
Yeah, in season 1. That's what I'm saying. But then you can't break it. Now, if you choose to, you know, to do it again, and they have the chance to break it 1, 2, 3, and you have the chance to air counter break and stuff like that, in my opinion, you're forcing, you're going through, you know, the meta game where you're forcing them to make the choice whether or not they're going to try to break 1, 2, 3, and you're forcing yourself to whether or not you want to counter break. Again, it's trying to learn whether the opponent is going to try to break something or not. But the thing is, I think the one thing I'm talking about is like afterwards. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you do like a DP, instinct, jump, roundhouse. You know what I mean? Like at that point, it's like I would rather just take like maybe like just that 5-10% than risking, you know, like a counter breaker that can end up to 70%. You get counter broken in this game, and you can add enough damage with a shadow damage ender. With 2 shadows? Can you imagine how much damage that is?
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, 70%. So this is what it comes down to, in my opinion. First hit does more damage to begin with, so that's huge, especially when we're talking about something like this. The next thing is that same combo is worth 45% if nobody breaks anything and you end it with a shadow Tiger Fury. So when you think about it that way, that gives Jago players a whole new mind game. That gives them a whole new area to continue the laser sword shenanigans that we all know and love. And you know, that makes juggles more interesting as well. More interesting to watch, more interesting to do, more purposeful to learn. And I think that's a good thing, personally.
So, okay, what would be the difference, Grims, if you were doing a combo and did a laser sword, then out of combo, in the air, doing a laser sword?
You mean like if like, let's say I DP somebody and then before they land do a laser sword?
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking about like similarities between season 1 and 2, or?
Well, like since season 1 in a combo you do laser sword, that's still a chance for them to break. And then doing a juggle, yeah, so I guess compared to season 2, doing a juggle with this laser sword, this is the same thing. And you might get more damage.
Well, I mean, a juggle into laser sword into like a DP in season 1. I mean, that's all unbreakable.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
it's also ass.
It's an attempt to gain some damage. That'll get you like 21%. Right. In this other instance, it's like I personally feel fine with that 21%. Yeah, you did damage regardless. You got further. In this other instance where you can DP and then juggle laser sword 1, 2, 3. You're using meter. You're using that part of the utility that you want to do the most amount of damage. Now, I'm just not really a fan of just always utilizing counter breaks to try to scare your opponent. You know what I mean? I guess I'm more of a person where like the mix-ups with the manuals and the overheads. That's like I like that kind of scare. Not because if you're wrong with your choices with counter breaks and all that stuff, in season 2, if you're wrong with that, you can end up taking that 50 to 60% damage that you wanted to do on them. You know what I mean? The punishment is high on that one. That's why I don't like it. That's why I feel like it's not as worth doing in the air than it is on the ground, because in the air, I mean, you don't get nearly as much damage as you can do on the ground if you end up with a level 4 shadow damage ender, then like a 45% combo juggle. This of course season 2.
I don't know, man. I think 45% for 2 meters off of a juggle is pretty godlike. But
yeah, but I mean, you lose a lot of that utility, and the thing is, 20%, with the meter gain is decreased. Using 2 meters, like I feel like that discourages an entire every resource like into one combo. Like it discourages that, I would imagine.
You gotta understand too that other characters don't have that ability. to juggle in the air with a shadow.
That's true. I mean, there's like only like three, I think, right? Like Jago, Spinal.
Okay, yeah.
Glacius can do it in a few situations.
Yeah.
Saberwolf can.
Yeah, and like
Sidira
now, I guess. I mean, well, she can't really juggle. It's just, well, I guess that is a juggle now. It would be a juggle, right? The recluse in the air would be a juggle now, right?
The throw, the juggles, land on the ground, shadow recluse.
By the way, I don't know if the triple DP thing is breakable. We were talking about that last night.
It's breakable.
Has that been confirmed?
Yeah, it's been confirmed. It's breakable. So
okay.
you can only because it's.
You gotta guess the strengths though, right?
Well, I mean, the only thing that you can do is like if you want to do 3 DPs, you have to do low, high.
Heavy.
You know what I mean? But other than that, like you would have to, like, it would be
change it up, right? Do medium and heavy, or medium and that's it. I don't know.
It's just
medium and then sword. There's a lot of mix-ups.
I mean, like I don't know if it's even possible to do like a DP counter break. You know how high in the air Jago can.
It looks so sick when
so
he
I think
down,
this
though,
is.
man.
I think this kind of is an obvious. I think personally, what you're going through right now, Grims, is the same thing that a lot of Jago players are going through, which is that his game is changing a lot.
So
like, it's changing a lot, and I understand that's going to be difficult to let go of for certainly, absolutely, but I mean these things are buffs for Jago, in my opinion. All of these things that we've talked about are buffs for Jago.
Yeah, I've always said that like the overall system changes is what made Jago, and since it's changing, it's gonna change Jago drastically. He goes by the system changes a lot. Manuals, he's a very basic, solid character. He's basic. Yeah. So anything that happens, it's gonna change him.
But he's still basic and solid.
Yeah. He's still basic and solid. I'm just saying that I'm personally not for like air breakers or air counter breakers because again, like I still feel better taking this amount of damage than this big ass amount of damage anytime. Because
I don't know. I think the game's going to be different enough, but we'll see. I mean, I think
I can't wait to hit practice mode.
Yeah,
the lab's going to be a good place to be in for the first few days, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be different. But in my eyes, in this one, if you don't like in season 1, you don't continue a juggle. If you don't continue a juggle arsenal of damage, then they have to work their damage onto you as well. In season 2, if you decide to work on it, you get 45 big damage. If you don't work on it and you drop it, then they can basically do the same thing to you, and it's like the same fashion. Basically, it's like the same.
And then quit getting up after combo breaking anyway.
But one counter breaker sounds like the end of the first round. You know what I mean?
So maybe at this point it's a good time to move on to the next change. Maybe past
the
change, right? The air breaker change.
Let's see. The breaker system is expanded to cover air to air and air to ground interactions.
Yep.
Air to air to air to ground interactions. Is that talking about
that's saying juggles? That means linkers on the ground while you're juggling are breakable.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, like forward roundhouse, whatever,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, what the only time it was unbreakable in season 1 was when
if it was a special, like laser
special, yeah, and then you can kind of like go on from there, but then now you can't do that anymore. Everything is basically breakable, right?
Yep.
After the third hit, apparently, it counts as a manual.
Third hit. Oh.
Yeah.
After that,
in other words, if you that combo that you were showing the whole stream to, the instinct combo where it's like standing medium kick, crouching light kick, standing medium kick, or whatever, like that combo that you were showing everybody that was only possible in instinct, while it's still possible, that's breakable now.
Yeah. Until you add that opener. Or I mean, like that was in season 1. Like it was all unbreakable until you added like a laser sword or a wind kick, and then it became breakable.
Yeah.
Now in this one, it's like you can't.
On the third hit,
1, 2, 3, burn. Yeah, 1, 2, burn.
Let's see. Additionally, all counter breaker attempts will now leave you vulnerable to punishment if you fail, no matter what the situation or character. Makes sense.
There you go.
Huh?
There you go.
Okay, so hopefully, like in that instance, hopefully it was patched up. The thing that Gutter was talking about, how like there would be a glitch where it would teleport you a little bit farther away when you attempt a counter breaker.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else in the chat has experienced that. Like the other KI
I've
players.
definitely seen that happen.
Yeah, we've had that many times on during the stream, and it was it was pretty crazy.
I don't want to think I'm the only one that's thinking that. I'm like, that's happened to me so many times. Okay.
after the third non-chained move. Oh, by the way, I wanted to bring this up. I wanted to bring this up. So since we're talking about Shadow Linkers and Shadow Enders,
Yeah.
how useful do you guys think Shadow Linkers will be when Shadow Enders can deal like level 5 damage? How useful do you think?
That's a good question.
Yeah, so you guys, like, whichever you want to start, how useful do you think, or how often do you think people even bother to use shadows to build up damage instead of...
I think you should take this one, Gutter, because I've been talking a lot lately. So.
I would, it's gonna be kind of hard since I don't really have a linker in the for when they juggle, really.
What about the shadow ankle slicer to build up damage?
In a combo, right? Okay. So you're asking me the damage would that be beneficial? Would you do it? Is that what you're asking?
I would say. I guess to put it in simple terms, do you think building up damage with the shadow ankle slicer is more worth it than saving that meter for a shadow damage ender at a level 4?
The damage would be worth using it. If first of all, if you have the lockout, and you have the lockout after a level 2 or level 3, because you won't be able to get that, I don't think. But the damage would be very worth it if you have the possibility. Of course, that does again implement another mind game. Are you gonna break it? Are you gonna try to break it? Am I gonna fake it and get 70%, or am I just gonna go all in for it and then get? Sounds like more than 50, maybe 50 to 60 almost.
Yep.
That's what it's sounding like to me. Because you get counter breakers, what, 50%, right? At least.
You mean how much is it worth in damage?
Yeah, 50%, right?
I'd say
Depends.
I'd say 35 to 45% is a good estimate, probably.
Okay. So 50% is going a little too far. Okay, well, it would be so with that at level 5, it would probably be 50% more and more, like so. I think it'd be worth it if that's the final combo or the final last bit.
Yeah, I mean, if it's gonna kill, I think that's the situation where you would use it. You know, that's the kind of situation where you're like, oh, I've stocked up 2 meters. All right, I'm going in for a shadow linker and a shadow ender so I can end this. Like,
when I see, I don't know. Okay, so you already talked about the 20%, right, for the meter deduction.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'm crazy or not, but I seen when Keats was doing the Wolf cross up stuff to show that you can block it now. I saw that when he used meter, it only used 20%.
Gosh.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, let me look at the changes here.
Yeah. I'm gonna go look at that video.
Because I mean, according to Keats, whatever is in the changes, patch notes, is exactly what it is, and nothing more, nothing less. So,
I might be crazy. It was just a first glance, so don't judge me on it.
Here it is. Shadow meter gain rates have decreased 20% overall. Okay, so that means nobody gains it as fast as they usually did.
Except for Fulgor.
Oh snap!
Yeah. Well, I want to say he deserves it, but at the same time, I think again they went a little too far.
Yeah, I mean, like I've always said, like Fulgor needs a buff, but the wrong buff will like make him a monster.
Yeah, yep. I mean, he looks like a monster.
I want to say that might have been a little bit too much, because you can gain that meter so fast, and you don't have to stay on him. You can like stay on for a little bit, back off, and let that meter just build it up for you.
Yeah, just generate. Yeah. But if you actually watch, it's not that fast. If you watch, it's not as fast as you might think. Like, it does, like, if you use a combo with a lot of auto triples and all the rest of that, like, it builds up really, really fast during that point. But during, like, the neutral game and, like just getting a hit off and, like, being aggressive and then backing off, it generates faster, but it's still not very fast. It's pretty slow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just saw a video. Yeah, it only took less than half of Shadow Meter to do it.
That doesn't.
So that's probably a glitch.
Yeah, it's probably,
I'm looking at it right now.
I'm just going with what Keats. I mean, like he said on Twitter, if it's not in the changes, if it's not like put into the patch notes, then you know what I mean.
I mean, no, I lied. Never mind. It was. I guess he has refill on, and it's like a little faster or something.
Okay.
Moving on.
which also brings to my attention since that's going to make meter way more valuable, way more important to hold on to, right? Now, don't you guys think with that meter being incredibly useful, well, not incredibly useful, incredibly important now, super important. Now nobody will have the mind where you can just, you'll just gain meter. It's all right. You'll just gain plenty of meter. You don't even need to do a battery charge or a battery ender. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, don't you think that turns down the importance of shadow linkers? And instead,
it does. It turns down the importance of doing double shadow linkers.
Yes,
that's what it does. And I agree with that change because, quite frankly, that's probably one of the most annoying things to watch. Is that when somebody has 2 meters, double linker, double shadow linker, double shadow linker. It's getting hit by it. You're gonna, whatever. But like, even just watching it to me is like, ooh, that just doesn't look as interesting.
It doesn't do that much damage.
Well, I mean,
it can win you a match.
Yeah, it depends on how you use it. If you use it with a great arsenal of manuals or art levels with 2 double shadows, it can actually earn you up to 69 to 70%.
Okay. Yeah. I don't use it correctly.
Well, here's the other thing about them too, which you guys might not have noticed, or probably noticed, but may not have noticed. You noticed is that shadow linkers do more overall damage, not potential damage, but more damage to your actual overall health bar.
Everything does more damage. Jeez.
No, not in the changes, just even currently in KI. When you do a shadow linker, so let's say somebody's 40% away from danger. The only way I can put them in danger in one combo is to use shadow linkers to bring down the overall damage below the danger meter. If you go into training room, you'll see what I'm talking about. It actually does, when you guys do the wall bounce into shadow opener and then do the ultra ender or do ultra, it's taking advantage of that exact same thing. They do more damage to your overall health.
Oh, they do. That's true.
It's going to be interesting. This is definitely going to be changing absolutely everything, man. It's I just can't wait to get my hands on it to see, to kind of judge, okay, maybe, and this goes different for every character, but for Jago specifically, this shadow is not useful anymore to use as a linker, because back then, in season 1, you would kind of use a shadow wind kick to just barely get that level 4 in a very fast combo to do at least 42-43% damage. But on this one, it's going to be different. It's going to be should I even bother doing a shadow laser sword or for extra damage, or maybe I should just do manual combo and then shadow ender. I mean, it's going to change a lot to see what's going to be more useful or not, and that's going to be different for every other character as well.
Yeah.
Season 2 sounds fun.
Yeah, we'll definitely see about it. Let me check some other changes here. I wrote a couple of notes myself too.
Ooh, notes.
And I gathered feedback from other people, so I can also.
Here's another thing to clarify, and Hoagie's going to be. I know he hates this as a change, but he'll be glad that he doesn't have to repeat himself anymore. The manual slide after skull for spinal is breakable now. It is not unbreakable anymore. That's very important.
Oh.
Yay for that.
Here we go. We haven't talked about this. How often, with the damage, with the 20% less meter gain, and the shadows to end on a level 4 to become a level 5 damage ender, how useful / common do you think shadow counters will be?
Shadow counters.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's going to be extremely crucial. You're not just going to be throwing it out there.
Oh,
I mean, it's not.
I will never do it again after a jump in. It'll never happen.
That's done.
Do you guys think maybe too crucial, as in it's so risky that maybe people might not even use it anymore? Maybe they just want to hold on to it.
That's true. No, I haven't heard too many people talk about that.
I don't know. I mean, I'd still use it about as often as I do. I don't use it that often. It's just when I know when I feel very confident it's going to work now. I'd probably use it as often as I currently do, but I sure as hell won't do it after jump-ins anymore.
Let me ask you something, Spada. I'm gonna put you in a scenario right now.
Bam.
Oh, God.
Let's say season 2, you're Glacius. Somebody jumps in on you with Jago. Bam, jump in roundhouse. You shadow counter. He does a roundhouse. You shadow counter correctly. You get him. Boom, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You do one auto double. He breaks it. I want to know how demoralized you feel for losing that 1 bar, knowing that it's going to be 20% less. I want to know how demoralizing it is. You're like, fuck.
That's fair. Not having thought of it from that perspective, it does make it scarier to use, and I think it's something that top players will use a lot less. Basically, CD Junior capitalized on that game mechanic a lot in top 8 at Evo.
He did.
That was a big factor in him winning. Not to say that's not a good thing. That's awesome, but I don't think we'll be seeing it win a game anymore.
Yeah, they're gonna want to keep that. They might hold that. They may hold that for the last, for the last 50%. They're probably gonna hold that meter
virus
for
database
something else.
Updated.
That juggle damage.
I feel like we're not going to see it for a while in the beginning. We're not going to see it for a long time. And then
we're all going to be scared of using them for a while.
Yeah, which I kind of don't like because shadow counters, it's great seeing
it's cool
people.
as hell.
Yeah, it's great seeing people do and now getting this vibe where there's not going to really be a good reason for it anymore, or not anymore, but for now, maybe for a while, because we are going to focus on how to get the most damage. They're going to want to save their meter, and if they lose that meter, that shit ain't coming back for a while. That 20%, cut. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm a little sad. I want to see more shadow counters.
You know what? I kind of at the same time, shadow counters were only being used as of almost recently. I mean, when the game came out,
that's true.
Nobody used them. We're like, what the hell is that?
That's true.
We all thought that was the most advanced tactic in the world.
Yeah.
People just gotta adapt to it. Once people adapt to how the meters worked, how people gain meter, who gains meter too fast, maybe, all sorts of stuff that's gonna be coming into play. Everybody's gonna figure it out because we all love the game. That's probably here right now listening to you, Grim. So listening to us talk, we all love the game.
Absolutely.
And so we're gonna take that time. We're gonna find a way to do it because it did take Evo for us to look at it and be like, man, I just see Junior used it very well. I think I used it against Justin Wong pretty well too.
Yeah,
and it was like I said, it takes high level to see it, and once we see it again, it's gonna become much more popular all over again. And I can't wait.
Apollo, I feel like the reason why he told you that shadow counters aren't as used as much as they should be used is because of the fact that a lot of people either felt pressured or they didn't really understand it. Now this is coming from my stream. Every single day, people would ask, "Oh, I don't know how to get out of this frame trap. I always feel stuck. I always feel like he can abuse me." I'm like, did everyone forget about the power of shadow counters? Plenty of people, great players, told me I don't even know what to do in the corner against Jago. He just puts me in frame traps all day. I'm like,
he's talking about me, guys. He's talking about me.
I actually wasn't.
I know.
Now that you mention it, I can relate you to that. Yeah. And I was like, well, shadow counters can be your best escape. And with this game so far, even if you lose the meter, you have a great chance to gain it back as long as either you block a couple hits or if you land a couple hits yourself, you can gain it back super fast. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think we should consider something. The meter gain has dropped 20%. It hasn't dropped 50%. It hasn't dropped 70%. It's not going to be a huge difference. It's going to be enough of a difference that we can't spam meter attacks anymore. But it's not going to be that huge. You will never see a Glacius just throw out a random Shadow Hail again. It's never going to happen.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
It's just 20% isn't that much. It's enough to change the way the game's played to some extent, but it's not that much. It's really not.
Yeah,
Every time we talk about something, it makes me look forward to it even more.
I mean, if you block with your face, it will not be that much. Considering the fact that in season 1, when you block, you don't gain as much meter when you block with your face. I think we can agree on that, right? But
the other person gained meter though, right? Is that how that worked?
Now check this out. You throw 4 fireballs against somebody that's blocking. I did the math here, folks. I did the math. Jago gains 1 bar after 4 blocked fireballs, and the
4
opponent
hails for Glacius.
the opponent gains a bar after 8 fireballs. Now with like 20%, I mean I fucking suck at math, but
It's 10 fireballs now.
10 fireballs
That's
to be blocked
for a full bar, for full 2 bars.
Okay, so five fireballs blocked to gain Jago, but how many?
It's 1 extra fireball.
And how many
but for the person that's blocking, that would be a total of. I almost said 16. I almost said 16, but it should be 9, right? 9 fireballs blocked. It gets you 1 bar.
Yeah, but that's always been the nature of KI, is don't be too defensive. Like,
I know. Yeah, in season 1, it definitely rewarded you. You know, like with people like Fulgore throwing projectiles, you could block and just eat up meter. But I mean, season 2 it promotes that, right? I mean, you can't be too defensive.
Yep.
Yeah. They're discouraging turtling, which is something that Double Helix said that they wanted to encourage too. They're just doing it a little bit more drastically, I think.
Yeah, they're making it like, oh nope. Like, I mean, look at Fulgore. I mean, we cannot run with that guy.
I see.
Gotta be on the
dude,
defensive.
the Fulgore and Saberwolf matchup is 100% different now. It's a completely different match now. And by the way, I just have to say this: the Glacius and Saberwolf matchup is completely different now. You Saberwolves might not know this yet, but that leaping recapture is going to be huge in that matchup.
Yeah.
Huge.
It is going to be.
Jump away.
I'm having nightmares.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is something aside if you guys want to talk about. How do you guys feel about the certain animations in
Yes, thank you for bringing that up.
I mean, Spada, if you want to go first.
Yeah, you guys go ahead. I'll learn what's going on here.
AKA lifting.
Yeah, I've seen this complaint a lot. I think you and I were talking about the scrims last night when we were playing D3. So they are definitely reused animations, so I could understand the complaint, but I have something I do want to say about that, but I think, what do you think about it so far, Grims? What do you think about it?
I think it could be reworked. I think it could be better.
Oh yeah. I know what you guys are talking about. Yep.
I think Orchid's butt shouldn't be the source of her grenades.
Oh my god.
No. Here we go.
I have a hilarious little comic strip that I want to make about that, but I'm scared too.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's dying right now,
You decided to
guys.
say that while I was drinking.
Alright.
But yes.
Don't say that,
it's-
Spada.
What?
Don't say that while she was drinking. It's like, don't say it.
No, because I made her laugh because I said that her butt holds many grenades. And
Yeah, I thought it was kind of silly when I saw the thunder, the zap, the call. Well, first of all, the call of sky. Can it be call of the sky?
Yeah.
Zap?
It could be the zap.
Zap?
Yeah, it's just yoga fever. That's all it is.
Yoga fever, yoga
He
fever.
turns on his instinct. I mean, I wish it could be like
Yeah,
He looks at the sky, maybe
instant
just points.
animation,
That'll
but
be
they moved
cool.
the lightning strike to
Yeah.
it's literally exactly the same animation.
Yeah. And then like your liquid eyes. I mean, that makes sense, to be honest.
It does.
Liquid eyes.
Yeah,
makes
liquid
sense.
eyes. I think that was pretty good. I liked it.
That's fine.
Yeah, the yoga fever. I feel like that should be changed to something else. Like maybe slamming both his axes to the ground to summon.
Yeah,
Dude,
I mean,
that
it
would
looks
be
like
so sick.
The thing is, to me, it's gonna have long startups, so you have many ways to change it.
Or he can say
Yeah.
he can save lightning, like thunder can
Yeah.
save lightning or something like that. I don't know. Jago's,
Something more interesting, yeah.
Jago's air counterbreaker just looks cool. He looks like he's doing a slam dunk. He looks like he's doing a slam dunk. I have no problem with that.
You was gonna say that.
Sadira's. Sadira's
It's
like,
okay. It's okay.
the
It's
shadow-
obviously her jumping heavy punch, and they just made it drop like a dive kick. Like,
Yeah.
it's whatever.
Yeah.
It's obviously.
What else? What else? Are there any animations that kind of stay out?
I do have to agree with the complaint about TJ Combo's arms kind of look like they don't belong on TJ
Really?
Combo's body.
I'll look
Not
at it
that
again.
they're too big, but there's a coloration to the texture of the actual 3D model. It's just it's a technical problem that the texture disconnects on the top of the shoulder from the torso, and it shouldn't do that. That's the that's the one thing that bothers me about TJ Combo now, but it's whatever.
I noticed a slight clipping in Jago's little scarf that he has around his waist.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
There's like shit that's like clipping through it.
Oh,
of course you would. He was like, my Jago, my baby. Oh, what the f they do to your animation?
Yeah. It looks kind of weird. I mean, I don't know. I mean, not that I really use classic that often. I always stick with the alternate.
Your two fireball looks fine too.
Looks cool, yeah, looks cool. I mean, that's a lot of fucking particles
about that,
on
but I think it looks fine.
I love the
It's
lightning that
literally
comes
the same
back to you.
animation
That
from
looks
Shadow Kick.
so cool.
Yeah, it looks cool.
The lightning that comes back to you when you heal, whatever, and you hit. Oh,
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
that looks fucking amazing.
I feel like it could be changed to anything and it would just look cool.
Yeah.
Because, that aspect.
Well, because it's Jago, all right.
What do you guys think about the shockwave animation from Orchid?
It doesn't
It
feel
looks-
it doesn't
yeah.
feel KI.
It looks too excessive. It looks too much.
Looks like
It's a
well,
lot.
put the controller down, I lost.
You saw that only the last hit of the charged up one did 11% damage, right? The damage
Oh.
on that thing is
Are you
intense.
serious?
Yeah, it did 11% damage, and it only hit on that second half of the shockwave.
Jesus. I don't know
Dude,
what to say about
like
that.
11%. That's a lot of damage for that attack.
Oh, for charged, right? Fully
Yeah.
charged. Fully charged. That's like almost 2 seconds. Like, I was sitting
I guess
there.
that's true. I mean, she did earn it by charging it, but
Yeah, so you had to sit there.
maybe
like,
it just goes too far. I don't know. It goes full screen almost. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's pretty intense.
Yeah. I mean,
And
I think it gave her a way to deal with Glacius maybe a bit differently. But
Yeah, and what I seen was Sadira had her little wall splat. I mean, it looks normal.
yeah,
I mean, a wall,
that
our
was-
wall
yeah.
like thing.
that's easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I
That
can't.
was
Yeah,
it.
I can't. I don't know. I can't really think of anything else. But like, what I wanted to say about like in general is, I agree. Overall, these do look like subpar. Like they don't look finished. They look like these are just rough things thrown into it, and they keep saying the word, this is what you're going to get on September 23rd. This is early release. And that kind of makes it all scary for us because it's like, is this what it's going to look like for the rest of forever? Is this what these animations are going to be stuck like? And I mean, the only thing I can say is that they did say that they're obviously going to continue supporting the game, and they're listening to the community, and they have showed that through TJ Combo. They've pretty much taken a large amount of advice from people. And
His
from the
mouth
community.
moves.
Yeah, right. But like they made
Yeah.
him stand upright now, and like his arms are bigger. That was something people kept asking for. Like he's bigger overall. I don't know, like. They listen to the community with him. I feel like they'll listen to the community if we outcry enough. But what it comes down to is I think they've had 6 months maybe of actual development time. And making a game is not easy. It's not easy at all. And the changes that they have to make and adding new characters, like the only thing I can say, look at it this way. Double Helix had much longer, and they much longer, and they still couldn't put 8 characters out on release. It still took 2 extra months, and I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but I felt like Fulgor was a little rushed.
Wait.
But-
You said that they had extra time? What, I'm sorry. What did you say?
They had at least a year, at least a year, and they still got 6 characters. And that's not saying anything negative about Double Helix at all, but that's just to say Iron Galaxy is learning a new engine that they themselves did not create.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they're rebalancing and coming up with new characters. And as they're coming up with new characters, having to balance the characters that exist with there's a lot of work involved. And so that's I just think everybody should take that into account before they get too critical about it. But
I remember them talking about like that they absolutely didn't want the game to be a launch title because they wanted to work on the 2 extra characters a bit more. Until the point where I forgot
I
who
heard
that Microsoft was like, yep, it's going to be launch title, and then that's when the two others came out afterwards, so they couldn't finish it. I mean, who knows? Maybe they had the two characters already like in beta when the game released. Who knows? You know what I mean? But I mean, I always said it could have been a billion times better if that shit released on the day that Connect was not. You know what I mean? The Connect was optional. Bam, double bundle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It would have been the perfect
double
release
bundle.
The double bundle. Fuck the Connect. Get, Instinct. But I don't know, man. It'd be cool.
This Lex says they don't have to develop an engine. You're right, but they have to learn an engine that they didn't develop, and that's pretty hard too. That's pretty hard too.
It'd be cool if Double Helix. I mean, okay, I know before anyone says no, if Double Helix and IG just teamed up, and just became Double Galaxy and just started
Double Galaxy.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
I dig it.
I just a bit of it. I don't know. But I think we covered a lot of shit today, guys.
Yes, I think we did.
We did, absolutely.
And I
About
made
an hour in,
I
I
made
think,
sure
too.
to pick up pick the adequate, amount of pictures for you guys.
Oh God.
Do you see your message, Spada?
What? Yeah, I am the sun. Oh man.
No, I mean I don't really see any way to come back to this subject anymore. I think we just about talked about everything.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, like we covered it in pretty good detail. There were a few things that I wanted to clear up with the community that people seem to be getting confused over, and I got to talk about that. But overall, like I just want to say that I think Iron Galaxy made some very smart changes to the game. I'm not saying that I'm 100% for all the changes. Oh, you know what we really should talk about is the manual change. I don't know how much you've talked about that already, Grims, but I think that's something that people
I think we talked a whole bunch about it.
Did you?
Okay. Yeah, we talked a whole. I mean, it is what it is. People that been basically, have been working on it for a year. They have to readjust. Elsewhere. You know what I mean? So of course it's gonna hit them the most. It's a given.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I mean, there's nothing else I can say about that. It sucks for them, but
yeah.
People have to like with Jago, people have to relearn the character in a different way now.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Sidira too, and I think that sucks. But like for instance, Glacius players don't have to relearn how to learn how to play Glacius. He just has a couple new tools, basically.
That's what I feel like about the whole cast. Almost. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I might get smited for this, but I feel like nobody's got nerfed and everybody's got changed.
Yeah,
and everybody's
that's true.
and all you gotta do is adjust, because if you actually do, we'll see how many people actually love the game on season 2 when season 2 starts. And if they no, I quit. I don't want to play anymore. Too much work. Too much work.
Yeah, I mean.
We're gonna see it.
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
mean, like, I'm gonna end this podcast with me talking about Jago right now.
Do it.
Do you guys think it was? I'm gonna make it blunt. Do you guys think it was impossible to break Jago with the manuals that he had?
You asking?
Impossible. Impossible. As in, I'm not exaggerating. Like, that's just the word. Impossible.
It was not impossible.
Okay, what do you think would
happen? It was
happen?
impossible to react to. It was all based off of reads for me.
All right.
I can't react to it. It was anytime I broke a combo you were doing, it was because I read it. It was because I'd seen you do that before, and I wondered if you'd go to a habit instead of freestyling the combo, or so anytime I've broken anybody's combos, pretty much that's how I've done it. And so
did it help you guys understand what habits a Jago had?
You are the only Jago that I've played that barely has a habit at all.
Okay.
With manuals.
That's an easy thing to say, and that's not shots fired at anybody, but everybody else has habits.
Yeah, that's
you guys
true.
are, and it kind of sucks that Jago got hit up with this, because people that had habits are like, wait, I want everybody to be like me.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that's my word, and I don't agree with that, because I mean, I don't want to bring up what me and Gribbs did, but like,
I'm behind on the stream. I'm sorry. I just saw that you shortened Gutter's head.
let's just say season 2 Jago will most likely be very easy to read and be predictable.
Yeah, for sure.
Now
I mean,
now of course it's unpredictable, but it's Jago. Yeah, it's unpredictable, but it's Jago.
Would you say now that the amount of combo breaks and counter breaks will be one of the only things to help you understand what kind of habits they have?
No.
Okay, now just describe like what do you think?
There's air counter breakers. There's air juggles now. There's going to be so many factors to see what will happen now. If what Jago would have in season 2 right now, then yes, I would say that because there's only one area where I can see that in one combo.
Yeah.
Now there's 2 ways to combo. There's ways to juggle. I can see what pokes she might do. I can see there's so many more to it. So many more things to it in season 2, in my eyes.
Yeah. Okay.
That I think Jago still has a way to be creative.
Yeah,
So
I think the fireball combos are going to be amazing while he's in Instinct.
Yeah,
those are going to be cool as hell. I already thought fireball combos were cool. They just weren't worth anything with him. So
I guess I'll ask to stream this since the most hot topic out there is Jago and stuff. Guys, answer. Was manuals the most impossible thing? When I mean impossible, I mean not a chance in the world to even figure out what kind of habits you can find out about the other Jago. Were manuals impossible to break? And I'm asking everybody in chat. So I'm just gonna end it like that. So since I got your guys' feedback, I want to hear what everyone has to hear about it. I think it's a good place to end it. Holy fuck, it's 1:49 a.m. Jesus.
Yeah, and you still got 2 games to play.
I got 2 games to play. Hopefully,
what are you playing?
Lethal League.
And then what else?
And then back to Ninja Gaiden 2.
Oh, okay. So I guess you decided not to keep playing Pokemans, huh?
Oh no, I will. It's just it's late to do that, man. It's super late to play Pokemans.
He's not gonna play it, guys.
What?
Pokemans.
I'm gonna have to play it, but it's just way too late tonight. I gotta find good time to divide the time and stuff. But anywho, guys,
cool stuff.
Thank you for having us.
I think we completely covered season 2. Completely, and if we find out about anything new, we'll probably bring it up again. So, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. As always, the 2 guys that helped me start the podcast. Mr. Toliro Spada, Mr. Magical.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man. It's always fun.
No problem, guys. You guys have a great night. Enjoy the rest of the stream.
Likewise.
You too.
Peace out, guys.
Later.
Okay. Well, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Let me close down these goofy pictures. Why don't I? Okay.